Hello, all. I would like to thank everyone for tagging along on this debate, and a huge thank you to my opponent for some of his claims. With that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. While I agree that there are some states that do not yet fully protect unpaid interns, the trend is clearly moving towards protection. Over the last 10 years, more and more states have extended protections to unpaid interns. The issue states are facing is often not whether they want to protect unpaid interns, but how the law views interns. There are multiple politicians and advocate groups pushing for legislation that would extend protections to unpaid interns. Therefore, the assertion that unpaid internships cause more harm than good denies the bigger picture because the trend is clear, and over the next few years, it is likely that more protections will be extended. I would like to ask my opponent if he would still feel the same way once protections are extended to all 50 states. Additionally, my opponent implies that all paid interns are covered under sexual assault and harassment laws. However, this is simply just not true. The intern, whether paid or not, still needs to pass the 7-factor test laid out by the United States Department of Labor. According to CareerShift.com, the 7-factor test is quite flexible. Instead of demanding that the company receive almost no financial benefit from the intern's work, the test serves to determine who is the primary beneficiary. As long as the intern is getting more out of the position than the employer, they don't have to be paid. It is very possible that even paid interns would not pass the 7-factor test. Therefore, I think that my opponent's point about sexual harassment laws, while important, should not be the deciding factor on which form of internships are superior. Moving on, internships, whether they are paid or unpaid, often sometimes are located in larger cities. Therefore, there is often a higher cost of living associated with a person's ability to commit to any internship. My opponent that argued that unpaid internships are classist hinges on assertions that paid internships are not classist. However, I would argue that paid internships face many of the challenges that unpaid internships do as well, and that any internship can have some negative implications that make it more difficult for lower income students to participate. Additionally, my opponent's arguments are based on an assertion that paid internships provide enough money to make them worthwhile. However, paid internships are often then not barely paid internships. Like I had said previously, the amount of money paid to interns is often ridiculously low. So again, lower income students may have to even deny the opportunity to work in an unpaid internship because internships as a whole can be inherently classist. Therefore, the distinction between unpaid and paid internships in regard to access to opportunity is not factually sound enough to draw conclusions. In my previous argument, I had said 67% of 2013 college grads completed at least one internship. My opponent argued that the other 33% could not take on this internship because they had a lower income. However, these college students are not taking on these internships because they cannot afford it. Some just are not interested, and others do not want to work after college. Additionally, I never stated that 67% of internships were unpaid. This was as a whole, unpaid and paid. So with the assumption my opponent made about it being too expensive for lower income students is no longer valid. In conclusion, I would argue that my opponent's main claims are not distinct enough to paid internships to tilt the scale substantially to paid internships over unpaid internships. Unpaid internships provide more opportunity to gain experience simply because of the sheer volume of unpaid internships. There are significantly more offerings of unpaid internships than there are paid internships. According to Time.com, the majority of intern opportunities are unpaid. The fact alone shows that unpaid internships provide more opportunities than paid internships do to students. Thank you.